Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Strain coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And as you can see, I am coming on at my regular time. I had no idea how long we would be out or what we would be doing after we had lunch at my younger nephew's house. We went out on a boat on a lake not all that far from here called Sailorville Lake. And it was a pontoon boat that he and his girlfriend rented for all of us who were able to come. One of my other relatives was not able to come, but the rest of us were there, so we had a great time. Lake was not too busy. So here is the first of the rations that was sent by Mike Crusher. I had seen one of these, I think, looked at once, but it had been a while. I don't remember who reviewed it, but I had been hoping to get a hold of one of these, and thanks to him I did, and I went ahead and translated this. So this is chicken and rice in an Asian style sauce. And it does not say that it comes with any kind of a drink, but I have that covered. No peelable seal. This is double sealed, but I'm going to go ahead and get my cheaters and cut this open. But actually, before I do that, here is the best before day. March 31st of 2023. There's Angry Blacksmith in the house. I'm going to go ahead and cut this open. So inside here, we have a little information sheet, well, two pieces, two little information sheets. Everybody's favorite ration biscuit, plate armor, whatever you want to call it. I like them. And here is a packet with a spoon, salt and pepper, and a napkin. Of course, I have my foreignmra.com sport. Then here is, it looks like the pepper didn't make it into the little accessory pack. Oh, there's the salt. So this is the meal tray itself. And then the rice and the chicken, or the rice is here. And then this is the chicken in the sauce here. There's spicy tuna rolls. And it is in this tray. When it mentioned tray, I was thinking this would be in like a little tray that you would dump the retort pouch onto. And here is a flameless ration heater. And it's an extra wide bag to accommodate this. And that is it. There's nothing else. This is just a label on the outside of the packet that the spoon and napkin are in. A pretty stout spoon. A lot thicker than most spoons you would get in a ration. And a napkin is almost as big as a Canadian paper towel. But since this one does not come with any kind of drink, I got that covered. There's Robert in the house. I'm going to have me a G7 coffee. And then I have an orange drink that will go into the drinking jar. Well, everything is good here, Robert. Had a good time today. Taking a ride on a really, really nice pontoon boat, which a lot of people like to call a party barge. And this particular one was basically designed for a party because it had probably like 12 cup holders. Really nice comfy seats. A motorized awning or canopy that you could push a button to raise or lower. So we basically spent a couple hours on that. Or was it 3? I don't know. I really wasn't keeping track of time. I just took some pictures and I posted them up on my Facebook as well as on my community tab. So I have never tried to, I'm actually going to boil this one instead of use the FRH because, you know, I want to save those. And then I might bring something else. Of course, I will also bring back the water for my coffee. There's Infos in the house that's dropping in. Anyway, I'm going to take this into the kitchen and then I'll be right back. Wow, that's not good when it gets that hot. We might be past that. Earlier this summer, there were predictions that we could have higher than normal temperatures here in Iowa. But we have cooled down quite a bit. It did not get above maybe like 86 today. There is Booger Butt in the house. Probably just Dave. Thanks for dropping in. This ration does not come with any drinks, so I supplied my own. I have a G7 coffee. It's a 3-in-1. And then I just pulled an orange drink. All this came with the main, these crackers. Salt and pepper, a spoon, and a flameless ration heater. And it's not, and you get a napkin too, but this is not the flameless ration heaters that have come in other Polish rations where you get a packet of pre-measured water that has something else in it that is supposed to help the FRH kick off. But anyway, I don't know if CT will make it, but I decided to go ahead and pull out the last 2 bars of the variety of bars that he sent me when he sent me some stuff earlier in the year. These are not at all like each other, but they're the last that I have, and I did not have anything to compare them to, so I figured I'll just bring them out together. That container does not fit in the pot that I use, so I just basically have it kind of sitting just inside it with the lip of the container. Just part way in, so it's basically steaming. So this is quick warm meal, and it's made by Arpol, the same company that does all the Polish military rations. This just happens to be a civilian one. So the packaging for the entree is a little bit different. It's not a retort, it's one of those plastic containers that are designed to take heat. I could have decided to throw it in the microwave, but I didn't want to bother with that. I'm going to give my orange drink another stir because it hasn't completely dissolved yet. That's why I mixed these first, because these do take a lot of time to dissolve. The ration heater says it's supposed to take 13 minutes, but because I have it on top of a pot of boiling water, I don't think it's going to take near that long. So meanwhile, I'm just going to open up these bars here. This is the Big Turk. And this one is the Wonder Bar. See, this is Nestle, and some of these other bars are Cadbury. And we don't get a lot of the Cadbury candies down here in the US that they get up in Canada. Why? I don't know. So there is the Wonder Bar. Now, because the rice is in its own compartment in that tray, it looks like that you would, at least the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to put the rice down and then put the chicken and the sauce on top of that. Bugger. I don't know if, I haven't seen it for mobile, but on a computer, I use OpenShot. Yeah, let me fix that. There we go. I use OpenShot for editing. And on mobile, although it's a bit of a resource hog, Power Director seems to have done good stuff so far. There is Rachel. Thanks for dropping in. This is a Polish civilian ration. It's Asian style chicken with rice. Yep. And I decided to go ahead and pull out the last two of the bars. I've been sitting on these for several weeks that CT sent. And since this ration does not come with anything as far as food goes besides the main and these armor plates, I decided to go ahead and pull out a little something extra. No drinks, so I have a G7 coffee in my foreign MRA mug. It's a 3-in-1 coffee. And I have an orange drink in my drinking jar. But earlier today I was out on a pontoon boat, which we like to call a party barge, on Sailorville Lake, which is not all that far from here. So I posted the 5 of the 6 pictures on my community tab. You can post 5 pictures there. I posted all 6 on Facebook, but the 5th one, or the 6th one that I did not post on my YouTube community tab, just has a view from behind looking at the water that's coming through the propeller. So I hope that answers, at least gives you one option or a couple options as far as the video editing. Some people like to use the Filmora. And some people don't like it. I think I'm gonna wait a few more minutes for the main to finish, but I'm going to take a bite of this big turk. What this is, it's a chocolate covered jelly. If you've ever heard of the candy called Turkish Delight, this is basically a Turkish Delight that has been dipped in chocolate. And that has kind of a cherry flavor. Yeah, I'm doing that because otherwise I really would just have these, and I want to incorporate these into the main. And then the Wonder Bar, it's a soft peanut-like filling, but it's got some crunchies in it. With a bit of caramel. in between the peanut filling and the chocolate. I can get Turkish Delights at Hillel Groceries, but I have never had it covered in chocolate, so. And with this being a cherry flavored, at least this one is like cherry. I don't know if they're, the whole thing will be like that. But that's what it seems like to me. So I like both of these. Yeah, Payday's a good one, but I can go to a store any day and buy a Payday. I can't get this or this. But thanks to CT, I have these. So anyway, I think the main should be warmed up enough. I'll be right back. I am back. So this is how the main came in the package, just like this. No overwrap. There's puppy breath in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So this is rice here. This is a chicken in sauce on this side. I'm just going to have to open this whole thing away from the tray because it's just too wide. There we go. Pardon the mess, but the rice is all clumped together, but that's easily fixed. It breaks apart pretty easily. The chicken is in big chunks, which I like. The rice is almost crunchy, but not like it would be undercooked. It's just a different texture. But even though the chicken is in big clumps, it does break apart pretty easily. Have no trouble using a spoon to eat this with. I have never had Asian rice taste or have this particular texture. It's a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to. I broke up one of the crackers to put in there to see how much of the sauce it would absorb. Well, I think someone is going to be very happy that football season is starting up. Of course, you have high school football, and then some middle schools have their own football teams, or there may be just like city youth leagues. Now this could use a little bit of heat. I think Arpo missed the mark on this one just a little bit. It needs a little bit more spice. I probably could have stood to cook the rice just a hair more. The cracker does give it a bit of crunch. Although I do have the salt and pepper here, I think it needs something a little bit different than that. There is creative redundancy in the house. Dropping in from north of the border. Hope things are going well up there. But I do like the caraway flavor that these crackers give to this. I like that flavor anyway. That's a little bit of red bell pepper in there. I have no idea what this, I think this black might be another seasoning and herb. But aside from the fact that it could use just a little spice, and the rice could have been cooked just a little bit more, or maybe steamed a little bit more. Yeah, see, yeah, I broke one and put it in here. And this one is actually, even just letting it sit in here and then biting it, it's not too bad. It would have been nice if Arpo would have put at least one kind of a drink option in here. Or maybe a sweet. But for this amount of food, let's see, the main I think was 420 grams is the chicken and rice. So that's a fair amount of food in itself. Yeah, what I had expected before I opened this up, when this bag, the translation said a tray, it said disposable tray, I'm thinking a little tray that you would empty the food onto after you heat up whatever it was in. I was expecting it to be in a retort pouch. I was not expecting it to be in something like this. I figured the chicken and the rice and the chicken sauce would be all mixed together, like you would find in a retort pouch, but or even some of the other plastic containers that some other civilian meals I've had, like some of the Chef 5-minute meals, or the heater meals. Some of those came in those tubs, but everything is all in one compartment. It's not divided like this one was. There's the Carlos in the house. Well, for lunch, my nephew fired up his grill, and we had, well, I didn't eat the brats because they're pork. But we had hamburgers, and the brats came from a butcher that is local to my nephew's area. So that's where the brats came from. So not from a grocery store, from an actual meat locker. And they actually came from, someone had gone in with a couple other people on a whole pig butchered. And so one of the people had some of the pork made into the brats, and so that's the brats that were cooked. And then we had, then there were some beef hot dogs, so I ate a couple of those, and I ate one of the burgers. And we had some other stuff like potato salad, chips, and fruit, and little bites of brownie. And just hanging out at my younger nephew's house, checking out his menagerie of critters. He raises and sells different kinds of reptiles. And then, and that's in addition to his zoo income. And he is one of only 5 people who have been able to successfully breed a specific type of rare monitor lizard in the U.S. And so if he can keep doing that, maybe he and the other 4 breeders can actually help save these 2 different species from going extinct. I believe the brats that my nephew got were smoked. But they look like it to me. But they look like they cooked up pretty well, and everybody who ate them enjoyed them. But over to the left, for those that are joining in late, I pulled out the last 2 candy bars that CT had sent me. This ration does not come with any kind of sweet or dessert, so I decided to go ahead and pull these out. And no drinks, so I have a G7 3-in-1 coffee and an orange drink from my stash. Get salt and pepper, but I think this needs a little bit more spice, something like some Asian chili. I think that would really give it a little bit more flavor. And the rice could have been steamed a little bit more. I don't know what kind of rice this is. I don't know if it's jasmine or the kind that might be used for sushi. I don't know. This is supposed to be like a Chinese style, but I don't think it's quite there as far as the flavor, but it's still pretty good. And I busted up one of these crackers in there. This one I just left whole, and I'm I'm just kind of dipping and then taking bites off. But I busted up one of these. Well, I have never tried pickling myself. I don't know if you can, I mean, you can do some like quick pickling where you just put your veggies into the vinegar and add the salt and the pickling spices and just kind of let it sit there for a bit. I don't know if you can hear it with my air conditioner is off at the moment, but someone is running a lawnmower and a weed eater at the same time out in the front yard of my building. We had rain earlier this week, and of course the hail that we had rain with that, so that did perk the grass up. So it greened up quite a bit. There is James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What you're looking at, with a couple of extras from my own stash. This is a Polish civilian ration, no menu number. This is chicken and rice with Asian style sauce, but our Pol kind of missed the mark on the flavoring a little bit. But this is one of those civilian rations that you only get the main and the crackers and salt and pepper. No drink, no sweet, or just anything else. So I added from my own. I have the last two candy bars that CT sent me, the Big Turk, which is a Turkish delight dipped in chocolate. Yeah, it kind of does, because I put pieces of the special biscuit in here. So I busted up one, and then I have the other one just kind of sitting here. So that softens them up, plus I do like the caraway flavor added in. The rice is softening up a little bit as it sits in the sauce. But it doesn't quite have that Asian flavor that I was expecting. But overall, it's not too bad. The chicken is not dry. See, I got the Wonder Bar up here. So I will show. So this is, it's a cherry flavored Turkish delight dipped in chocolate. So that's the Big Turk. And then the Wonder Bar is, it's chocolate over caramel over a crunchy peanut filling that's kind of light. It's not super dense. So that's the Wonder Bar. So the Wonder Bar is made by Cadbury. The Big Turk is from Nestle. Hopefully he'll catch the replay, but after Ration, I figured a little bit more to it, so I decided to go ahead and pull these last two bars out. And I dug into my drink stash for the G7 coffee and orange drink. I'm going to scroll back up. Indian food, and you go with and be like 5-alarm hot. If you like curries and garam masalas and anything of that nature, and some of the Indian chilies, I think you'll enjoy it. I like Indian food. But you would want to start with something basic like a biryani. Too spicy. That would be something good to start with. And then, you know, if you like that, then you could branch out into other dishes. The first time I had it, I was at a dinner that took place during an event I was attending with some other people from Des Moines Area Community College. And one of the dishes that was served was very a black guy with very dark skin was sitting across from me. He was in our group. But he bit into a chili that was covered in a sauce that's kind of this color. So you really wouldn't see the chili because of the sauce. And he bit right into that chili, and oh boy, you could almost see the steam coming off of his forehead. It was very dark, was almost starting to turn as red as this wrapper. So he knew he had bit into a chili. He didn't see it, but he sure found out how bad that chili bit back. But he took a drink of water, and we were telling him, bread or took a drink of water, and that made it worse. But then after he ate, he got his senses back, and then he was just laughing along with the rest of us. I mean, when you can laugh at yourself after having bitten into something that powerful. Now that's a take it. Was it tofu maybe? Because tofu is basically bean curd made from soybeans. There is, or does this show, but there was a show on Food Network called Spice Goddess. Indian, her parents emigrated to this country, and they kept cooking their tradition of foods, and she kept on doing it, and then she became a chef, and she started doing it as a about the show called, and she shows how to make a lot of different Indian dishes, and even how to make the different curry blends and garam masala blends. So that would be another way of seeing what different Indian foods are like. Okay, so yeah, using lemon juice to curdle milk. Yeah, that's a popular way of doing that. Then after you do all kinds of other, make it into whatever you want it to be. Now, when I used to watch the Food Network, spice go, and she made everything look so easy, even making the paratha. You're making the dough and you're incorporating the potato, and then you keep rolling it out, and then you ball it up again and rolling it out, and then you finally rolling it out into something that's as flat as a tortilla. Ooh, spicy black beans. Now that does sound good. Or you just had already prepared beans that you just seasoned up. I do like spicy black beans. Spicy refried black beans. That's pretty good. Oh, cauliflower is one of those veggies that you can get sometimes. But personally, I just like to eat cauliflower raw. That's my preferred way to eat it. But eat it cooked. As long as it's not overcooked. Well, DeCarlos, I think there might be a bean or three in your kitchen or your pantry. I'm sure you could do some. Of course, the best refried beans I ever had was when I was in Mexico back in '86. It was done with pintos, not black beans, but they were still very good. I enjoyed eating those. Yeah, those I had in Mexico were the tops. I have never had any as good as that. We would have them for breakfast as far as, when we had huevos rancheros. Sometimes they would be in our lunch, which is the big meal of the day. A lighter meal like we might have for lunch up here. Usually that was like sandwiches or soup and sandwiches or, not quite as much food as but that is one of the things I do miss about that time in Mexico was all the great food I had down there. Things are down. Even if it were in the budget, nope. It's just a little too crazy down there. To catch you on another day, maybe if Smokey goes back to his day. Of course, no Ration museum stream tomorrow because Sean is away. He's traveling, so he'll go Monday. So next Sunday, actually next Sunday, I may not have a stream. That all depends on if I can get a ride to the multicultural powwow, which I have volunteered for the past several years. The only time I did not do it, 2020, it didn't take place because of the big nasty. And, the state parks had not fully opened up yet. But on the way home, we went right by the park that it'll be held at. So I was talking to my older sister, who was bringing me back home about it, and that ride, then she would offer to take me to that park after she gets off of work, and she works at one of the middle schools here in Des Moines. School that her teaching career. She's been at even a summer school. She has only been at Weeks Middle School. (1984). That's where she started when she first started teaching, and she's been there ever since. So by the time she completely retires, she officially retired from teaching, but then she went back as teachers of so that she can keep her insurance, since she's not old enough to draw Social Security or get on Medicare. Plus, she can build up her IPERS, which is the government pension. So she can keep building that up, since she is still working for the school district. And my for the TA is building up her IPERS so that when she retires, she can draw on that, or she can just sit on it if she chooses to get another job after she stops working for the TSA. But we're talking about, because of the lake that we went on today, boats docked there, plus there are other houseboats on other docks and slips around the lake. Now, we had kicked around the idea of, instead of going to lake, as we have not booked for that summer yet. We're already booked for Lake Icaria for 2024, as well as next year. But after that, we were kicking around the idea of a houseboat and staying on it for the whole time instead of staying in a cabin. And we could fish off that boat or off of, wherever we might want to pull up. Back in the 80s when my parents were in Arkansas and I was down there as well, at one we rented down in Arkansas, and that lake is like 4 times bigger than Saylorville. In fact, it takes up space in 3 counties. That's how big that lake is. But that's actually a better lake for houseboats because Saylorville doesn't. So there's a whole bunch of other little coves you can slip into if you want to have just your own little space for a while. So today, so who knows? Maybe 2025 might have some different video and pictures. We will just have to see what we can area. Seeing those houseboats kind of gave us the idea of maybe changing it up a bit. A fire truck or an ambulance going up a block away. Don't know if you heard that or not, but I figured if you did, that's what that was. Last year at the multicultural powwow, when I wasn't helping kids do kids activities, the different of it, but I was having some issues with such big files and then I tried to move them by email, but I lost a couple of those, so I just never bothered to try to process all of those. Of course, I did not have the laptop that I do. If I do shoot any video, and of course I do it respectfully, I can dump them onto the laptop, run them through my OpenShot editor, thanks for dropping in, CR. Hope to see you another time. At least, see, I would be familiar with these. Never bother to ask if he. But if I do get to go to that powwow, the activities actually start Sunday evening, all day Saturday, up until like Sunday afternoon. And last year, they did what was done back in 2019. Where the volunteers, different performers or people doing demonstrations of various cultures, were the first pick up items that would be laid down, and then just other attendees could then go do that, and then basically, you know, anything left, you can just pick things up as you like. Picked up a few things. People would collect all these items and donate them for this particular part of the event, and then they do what's called a candy dance a couple of different times for kids. And lead it. And I take my duff with me when I go there. But it looks exactly like a Middle Eastern duff drum. I just put my own padding on a stick. That's pretty soon anyway. But depending on what time I get back, because it is in the town of Granger, which is an hour. So I don't know if I will go on at my normal time or if I just won't do it. I don't know. That'll all depend on what time I get back. I will go ahead and make a post about if I will be doing a stream next week or if it will be delayed, or if I don't get to go to the powwow at all, which would disappoint me because activities. I'm the only one, I guess, who's consistently there. I mean, the others stuff. But I'm usually the one who is staying with the kids' activity area most of the time. Plus, it gets me an excuse to camp again. At least this time I know I won't have to, because I have a much better tent than the one I had last year. But I think my next review, I might do that Ration ration, or and if I will make 3 meals out of that, because you get a lot of food in those CR1Ms. You know, between the mashed potatoes, the mee goreng noodles, and all the other things that are in there. Yeah, I can pretty much make 3 meals out of that. Like the one that I have on my keys, because the other one that I have, I put that on my keys so I can have a can opener on me whenever I might need to use it. If not for opening cans, I pop the tape on the 600 count utensil boxes that you can get at Sam's Club or Costco. That we get those at the mosque. And a couple weeks ago, I opened up a new one to start using from the Fred to pop those little. So I will have another one of those Freds. And those little scrubby pads, I still use the one that I got before for scrubbing my dishes when camping. And that thing is still holding up. That for my next review. But again, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. I will finish these off. But anyway, I do want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the pictures of the lake that I put up earlier. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the